Hello, my name is Braden. This is day one of my passion project, I'd like to say, where I'd like to talk about the current political status of the world, the new laws going on, and the current global news. I do identify on the left, which, if you're not, you may shoo, I guess. Except for this is a passion project, so if you want to sit through, you may sit through if you ever so desire. That's what I'd like to say. Whew. But I guess today, because of my first day, I will be talking about the most crazy thing happening in the world right now, which I will say, is the current Gaza Strip going on right now. Yes. So I find it to be a lot concerning to see that people are dying right now in the world, and we can just turn a complete blind eye to this. Right now, the current Canadian government has funded $56 million into stopping anti-Semitism, which is good to stop anti-Semitism, but in reality, it just, in my complete opinion, I feel it's just more funding for Israel and Netanyahu. The conservatives and the liberals are funding Israel along with the other major parties. Right now, I think it's the NDP who are like the federal party. I'm not going to say Bloc Québécois because they are definitely only focused on Quebec right now. You know, I think it's France. No, but they don't want to become prime minister is what I want to see. So they don't care. They only care about Quebec patriotism and how they are. But I see other conservative parties across Canada, like the UCP and the PC Party of Ontario, are funding Israel, with some of them even sucking up to the big DJT down south, which I'm not very content with. I don't think anyone else should be, because he's a very bad influence for us. And eventually, I do see our country maybe collapsing to the point of just giving it all into the big DJT, which I don't find that kind. But Israel-Palestine goes deeper than just Canadian politics. It does. It does go into the current status of the world on how genocide can easily be just committed while everyone turns a blind eye to it, including the European Union, which I'm actually in support of Canada joining. But I don't think that if we just continue to fund this propaganda within our current governments, we can be able to get much work done within the world, because yes, we are Canada and we should be focusing mainly on our issues, but we can't turn a blind eye to children starving and dying. I think we should just cut off all aid to Israel and send a bunch of it to Palestine. And if Israel decides to take over our boats, we might want to declare war on them and we might just want to invoke NATO Article 5, stopping the DJT from ever waging war against us. I don't know if that would count, but it would definitely count as a wager of war, in my opinion. If it doesn't, then we shouldn't declare war, because NATO is our strongest allies. And I do very well believe Israel can just back down. Another big thing about Israel is Eurovision. Eurovision is such a big thing culturally for Israel that they can't afford to get out of it. Israel has, I'd like to say, been rigging the votes within their favor. If we looked at Spain last year in 2025, they had 47.5 thousand votes to Israel, which is not okay. They've also decided to spread the thing about vote 10 times for Israel instead of, oh, just vote for Israel. Israel also got a bad spot in the running order in the final, but they still managed to get second and third in the televote, I believe. Not because they have a good song, but just because they're buying votes is what I'd like to say. Eurovision likes to claim that they verify the votes, but they're not. So I guess that's my general stance on Israel-Palestine. Some big things going down south there, I've heard. But I have a couple friends down south, actually. But I do think, oh, my walk's approaching the end. Here's my video formats I'd like to mention. I am doing a walk every day, and I talk about the current status of the world, like I just said at the beginning, which might be a hassle for the university admissions team to get through if I ever decide to ultimately apply to university or college. I hope they do. If they watch all of this, I will be surprised. But I will be doing this every day, including summer. Maybe. But I will be continuing this when I go on vacations, maybe at different times, because I do go to Singapore often to talk to my grandparents. Well, grandparent, my grandmother. So, yeah, look at that. Pretty close to the end of the walk. But I guess I will labor on for a little bit. I haven't read the news today, which I'd love to do. Happy Pride Month, first of all. Who doesn't love that? Homophobic people. I'm not going to use bigots. I prefer not to. So, very nice view. Afternoon. Bikers came by. Love just saying good afternoon. I try to be a good person. I think I'm a great person. I don't want to sound like Trump, though. So I will keep blabbering on, like I said. I have been repeating this. I sound like a broken record right now. I might repeat that soon, too, because I need to articulate things going through my mind to think of what I want to state. Some other things, crazy things going on is Bill C-9 passed. I prefer to have a stance on that. I haven't read the full bill yet, which probably should have. But what I do know is that people are mad that you can get arrested for preaching the Bible or something, which you can't. People are not going to arrest you for preaching the Bible. Of course, it could violate our Canadians of Charters, rights, and freedoms, which I could have seen, which I would definitely use to knock down the bill in Parliament and Senate. Talking about Senate, I'm like Jack Layton. I hate the Senate. I also hate the monarchy. So you might as well just say I'm a Republican at this point. I find no use for a monarchy, because why do we need to go through another step of the process just to get it? We should be completely democratic. So we should have an elected president and an elected prime minister. A president just acting as the figure of a king. Kind of what Germany's doing, but I'm pretty sure the president appoints the chancellor in Germany. I have to check that out. But I feel we should be able to elect our prime minister and president. But the prime minister is more like a diplomatic thing. Kind of like what Singapore is doing, actually. Singapore has a president and prime minister, but all of their presidents and prime ministers, I'm pretty sure, have been center right to right wing. Maybe even far right. I'm not into Singapore politics. I prefer to stay within the two major countries I believe in right now, which is my country, Canada, and America. Sometimes Britain. But I am very connected to world politics, is what I'd like to say, and world geography. But I feel this is a great way of exercise while talking about my beliefs. So you may comment if you want. Comment, like, subscribe, because I am posting this on YouTube. Hopefully I can rack up a great following. 50,000 people. 50,000 people who'd like me. Really like that idea. So anyways, my podcast and so like, subscribe, comment. I don't know. Thank you. Toodaloo, ta-ta.